This will sometimes take a moment to get through, but while we're waiting for it, the individual web application can also be viewed and managed through both SQL Management Studio as well as IIS Management. We should never, 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 never touch the content databases in the SQL Server. However, it is occasionally useful to go in there and look at them if something happens with the database server. Additionally, in IIS management, if we go into administrative tools and then the IIS manager, we'll actually be able to see the different application pools. And so that brings up the question, why would you want separate application pools for your pieces of content? Why wouldn't you just put it all in a single application pool? Well, the answer is because both one, when you're actually balancing the different processes, they're executing in separate processes. So that allows you to take advantage of the multi-threaded nature of these applications. And then two, in a production environment, if you end up having to reboot one of these, it doesn't affect all the other web applications. So with that, that's why you would create multiple application pools in a SharePoint environment. Now, each application pool can be used to host more than one website, and that is a good way to go, especially in your development environment, because it keeps the process lightweight and is easy to track down. Now, after I have created my web application, it says I now need to create my site collection. I can either click here to create it, or go back through to the application management and create one that way. For right now, we're going to go ahead and dive right on in and create it. You see that I'm creating it in the web application, and I can name this anything I want. So I'm going to name this Demo Root. And this is actually the root web, and as you see, this is where you can pick the manage path. So you can define more managed paths by clicking here, or you can just select either that one or sites. Sites, of course, is wildcard, meaning that you can type in whatever you want here after it, and then just the default slash is explicit. After that, you pick what template. Now, in template, the template of a site collection, or in this case, templates are actually webs, you have to pick either a team site, a wiki, a blog, a whole numerous ones of these. And this is where the real power of SharePoint becomes, because you can define your own custom templates. So for example, if I have a bunch of project workspaces that I want to deal with, I can go ahead and create my own custom project template and use that for every single project that I manage. And then that way I don't have to go through the configuration process of actually defining all the different lists, all the different libraries, changing the look and feel. It's done for me, and I can just spin up a whole new workspace for that way. Finally, I'm going to type in my username as well as the administrator, or SP admin in your case, to be the primary and secondary administrators. Like I said before, the site collection is the highest level of security. So that means that unlike Documentum, where there is a God account essentially and has access to everything, in SharePoint, each site collection has its own little mini God account. And that's what's defined by this administrator tag here. And this is actually a Boolean flag on the administrator profile to say that, yeah, this guy is an administrator. So then what they can do from within the site collection is control the permissions of that site collection and define new owners, contributors, readers, etc., etc. So for right now, if you're ever in a position where you're administrating a SharePoint environment and you need to go in to someone else's site collection that you are not an administrator for and do not have access to rights, you have to come into the central administration page and assign yourself as an administrator. Then you can grant yourself permissions to manage the site. I know it's a little hokey that way, and gets a little confusing, but it actually is a fairly good model and allows you to push down a lot of the administration tasks to the users. So we're going to go ahead and create that site collection. Once everything has been created successfully, we get taken to this top level site creation, or the root web has been created successfully, and we can then click on the link, so devmos:33333, and it will take us to our new site collection. Now, the first time you go to a site collection, or the first time you go through SharePoint, it takes a little while to go. But be patient, and then the performance actually picks up substantially as it gets through the different components and compiles them down and makes it ready to run. And then if everything goes properly, this is what you should be left with. And now you should feel comfortable playing around within your SharePoint site collection, creating different content, editing the page, and diving down into the site settings. And in the next lesson, this is what we will begin to cover. Real quickly, do a crash course through the different components of the SharePoint Site Settings Administration. But for now, feel free to browse around on your own and get ready to go for the next one.